For 11 seasons of Modern Family, the absolute anchor of the show's comedy was Phil Dunphy. We laughed at his magic tricks, his viral basketball videos, and his endlessly cringe-worthy attempts to be the cool dad. The narrative the show explicitly sells us is that Phil is an oversized golden retriever in a suit, a happy-go-lucky man-child who stumbled his way into a successful suburban life through pure luck and toxic optimism. But what if I told you that after tracing his actions from the pilot to the finale, that goofy surface is actually a brilliant intentional shield? What if Phil Dunphy is not a bumbling fool at all, but the most observant, capable, and strategically calculating character in the entire series? What if his weaponized positivity is a deliberate choice made by a man who understands the people around him better than they understand themselves? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going full detective mode on the unseen reality of Phil Dunphy. We are going to connect the hidden dots across all 11 seasons. This is the side of Phil Dunphy you completely missed. To uncover the true Phil Dunphy, you have to look at how he operates within the family hierarchy, specifically his relationship with his father-in-law, Jay. From season 1, the show frames Phil as a desperate puppy begging for Jay's approval, while Jay treats him with coldness and subtle hostility. But look closely at the actual outcomes of their interactions over the years. Phil never pulls away and he never gets aggressive. Instead, he systematically wears Jay down with unrelenting kindness. In the early seasons, Jay tries to drop a model airplane on Phil's face or intentionally excludes him from family outings. A weak man would start a feud, but Phil treats every insult as a game obstacle. By refusing to play the alpha male power struggle, Phil completely disarms the terrifying patriarch of the family. By the final seasons, Jay is openly crying in front of Phil, seeking his comfort and treating him as an equal. Phil did not stumble into Jay's good graces. He executed an 11-year strategy of radical patience that completely reshaped the family dynamic. This brings us to his role as a husband and his relationship with Claire. The show constantly positions Claire as the stressed-out sanity of the house and Phil as the chaotic child she has to manage. But if you connect the dots, Phil is actually the emotional anchor, keeping Claire from completely spinning out of control. Phil knows this. He consciously plays the goofy, relaxed counterweight because he understands that if he adopted her rigid energy, their home would become a prison. When Claire is at her absolute worst, screaming at the kids or micromanaging a school event, Phil absorbs the hit. He intentionally plays the fool to give her a safe target for her stress, functioning as the ultimate emotional release valve for her anxiety. And look at what happens when the dynamic shifts in the later seasons. When Claire takes over her father's multi-million-dollar closet company and becomes a high-powered CEO, Phil undergoes a total, seamless transformation. He steps back without a single ounce of masculine insecurity, managing the household, cooking the meals, and supporting her rise to power. When Phil gets mistakenly kissed by a guy at the gym who misread his friendly nature, or when he happily joins Gloria for spa days and emotional gossip, he does not have a crisis of identity. His absolute comfort in his own skin allows him to adapt to whatever his family needs in that exact moment. He does not care about looking tough. He cares about keeping the system stable. We see this exact same hidden mastery in his parenting methodology. The running joke is that Phil is a permissive, lazy dad who wants to be his kid's best buddy, famously trying to coin the term parenting. But when you track the long-term results, his approach is brilliant. Because Claire is the strict enforcer, Phil establishes himself as a judgment-free sanctuary. Think about the high-stakes moments across the series. When Haley secretly loses her virginity, or when she gets arrested and kicked out of college, Claire's immediate reaction is panic and administrative control. But who does Haley actually talk to when she needs true emotional safety? Phil. He lets his children know when he is disappointed, but he never withdraws his warmth. This unwavering support is exactly why Luke remains his loyal sidekick into adulthood, and why the hyperacademic, deeply stressed Alex has a safe place to land whenever her intense perfectionism drives her to a breakdown. Phil understands that rules without a real relationship breed rebellion. So he secures the relationship, but perhaps the biggest illusion the show pulls off is making us believe Phil is bad at his job. The series loves to show us his chaotic open houses, his ridiculous marketing ideas like putting his family's faces on a station wagon, and his stressful rivalries with aggressive realtors like Gilthorpe. But look at the actual data of Phil's career. Phil Dunphy is an elite, top-tier real estate mogul. He is the top salesman at his agency. He serves on the real estate board, and he eventually starts his own highly successful firm with Gloria because Phil understands that real estate is not actually about selling brick and mortar. It is a game of human psychology. Buying or selling a home is one of the most stressful, emotionally vulnerable moments in an adult's life. Phil's superpower is his terrifyingly high level of empathy and social engineering. In Season 3, during the family tracking episode, he figures out exactly how to bypass his parents' surveillance using pure logic and human behavior mapping. He can read a client instantly. He connects effortlessly with divorcees, scared first-time buyers, and high-strung sellers because his goofy warmth completely removes the cold, predatory feeling of corporate sales. He turns his lack of an intimidating ego into a massive financial weapon, outselling the cutthroat agents of Los Angeles on pure instinct. The tragic truth of Phil's character, however, is that his immense emotional labor is almost entirely taken for granted by the people he loves most. Because he makes joy look effortless, his family assumes he does not experience pain, rejection, or fear. They treat his optimism like a genetic accident rather than a conscious, daily sacrifice. When Phil experiences profound moments of grief, like the passing of his mother or the eventual loss of his father Frank, the goofy mask slips for just a fraction of a second. We briefly see a man who is carrying the emotional weight of an entire, extended family while receiving almost no emotional care in return. Yet he never allows his internal sadness to sour his worldview. He follows his own ultimate rule: focus on the dog in front of you. He surrenders completely to the present moment, mastering the ability to find pure magic in small things. Whether it is tightrope walking, learning the piano at age 50, or running a magic shop just for the love of the craft, ultimately, the hidden blueprint of Phil Dunphy is a story of profound emotional resilience. He is a man who looked at a cynical, hypercritical world, a world perfectly embodied by his own father-in-law, and decided that the most powerful thing he could do was remain soft. He is not a man-child avoiding the realities of adulthood. He's a brilliant, highly capable adult who successfully protected his inner child so that his own children could grow up feeling safe, seen, and loved unconditionally. Phil Dunphy did not run a corporate empire or command a room with fear, but he did something much harder. He broke the cycle of emotional detachment that plagued the Pritchett family for generations, proving that true strength does not come from building walls, but from keeping an open heart. Think about that the next time you see him do a magic trick. Thanks for watching the analysis today. If this completely changed how you view Phil Dunphy, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below letting me know which character we should break down next, and I will see you in the next video.